Hello everyone. I just watched the movie Blackhat, a movie built by Hollywood about hacking and the cybersecurity, and it was an interesting movie. I like the movie. So I'm just going to mention some technical terms and some hacking procedures they used in this movie, and I'm going to discuss with you that do they make sense? Are they based on logic facts, or is just something made up? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with minute 8. Okay. Here the detective is asking him if he's using the phone as a attack tool. Yes. The answer is yes. You can hack into network, into computers, into whatever, as long as you have any access to internet. And this access can be through a SIM card, which provide you 3G, 4G internet or whatever. So the answer is yes. This one is correct. Next one, I'm going to minute 9. Here the Chinese investigator is talking about RAT, R-A-T, which stands for Remote Access Trojan or Remote Access Tool. Yeah, that's true. RAT exists. RAT opens a backdoor on a computer in the network, on the network for malware who can upload its payload to the computer, so can do its attack in any way it wants, depends to the payload they are uploading. So the answer is yes. This part of movie was also correct. So next also is minute 9. So here he mentioned that FBI got rats. They have the source code. Well, FBI didn't have the source code. What he mean is FBI did reverse engineering on the hacking process which happened on their network. So they found out some evidences of this rat behavior in the network. So they could reverse it. They could find out what this malware actually doing. So yeah, you can do that, but of course it's not 100% guaranteed that you can recover the source code. It depends to the source code developer, to the hacker, how good he's going to hide the true lines of his source code of the program, of the hacking tool. So some developers, they inject too many trash coding, so also encryption or whatever, so it make it difficult for reverse engineering. So when you reverse it, you won't get the useful data. You will get some useful data which is mixed up a lot of rubbish, which you cannot say which one is the good data. So yeah, this one was correct. So RAT exists, and you can find the malware code through the network. Now I'm going to next chapter, which is the FBI detective speaking, which is minute 9. No. Minute 16. So the FBI investigator, he mentions that they think that the rat and the payload is written by two different authors. And how they know this? Yes, because different developers, different programmers have different style. They're code in different ways. Some write it clean, efficient, and they can write the program with less lines. But some programmers also, they do same thing maybe, but with getting more resources from the system and writing more lines, which are making it more slow or making it messy. The coding, it's not clean. So yeah, you can say. Okay, now I am going to talk about something more interesting. Okay, just here. Root @ blah 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 -1 and $. You know, root means admin permission in Windows, which we call it root in the Linux. So when you have the root access to a computer, there won't be $sign anymore there. There will be a hash sign. It's how Linux and Unix working. So no, here cannot be any $sign. There should be a hash sign. So there's a mistake here. So it means that they didn't really use the Linux terminal command for making this movie when they do the programming part. It's all simulated. You can see later in the movie, and I'm going to mention that a lot of this is simulated. They are not the real terminal commands because they don't actually make sense. He's typing something, he's getting the real result that he shouldn't actually get, but the command is wrong. Okay, what is happening here? Yes, he's do ls. He's getting all the directory or files which are inside the media folder. But now you will see something interesting. Okay, he suspects to the pen drive which the FBI guy using for accessing to the system is like his key. Okay, he think that this pen drive, the outrun file, which when you plug the pen drive inside the computer, it will automatically run this application, is infected by the malware, which is true. And yeah, you can see here. But he's going to do cat. Cat is to read the file, what's happening inside the file. Reading all line by line, you can see what's happening inside the file. So he's going to cat it. He's going to cat this outrun file. But in Linux or even in Windows, when you write a command like cat or whatever, you need a space. After a space, you can continue, give the path of the file, give the other options or whatever. You cannot start the command exactly after the cat. So that's another evidence I just said that all of this is simulated. They cannot be real Linux terminal because you will get error here. But it's gonna work. Yeah. So this is number 6. Cat won't work. 7. Is going to minute 31. Okay. You see what's just happening here. He just took the laptop which belonged to this hacker, and the laptop was open, it wasn't even off, it wasn't even locked, if I don't want to say shut down, because you can see the face of the guy who is on the floor. He's dead for a long time. It didn't just happen. The face is going to rotten. And he just opened the laptop, and there is the mail application open, and he's reading the emails. I think a hacker or even a normal people, they will put auto lock on the laptop. So after a few minutes, the laptop will be auto locked. Anything happen, nobody can access your laptop to read your emails so easily. So it doesn't make sense for me. She's mentioning onion router. She's talking about Tor. Is a very complicated, sophisticated, and the perfect network, private network in the internet, which being used by Silk Road, and you can't hide your information, your IP, everything behind this network. I explained Tor for very shortly. Tor is made of few computers, we call it relay, and endpoint. So these relays, maybe you can say 4 or 5. When you want to hide your IP, you can run this Tor application. So Tor, you will connect to the first computer. First computer knows who you are, knows your IP, your MAC address, but he passed your information, your message or whatever, to the next computer. All of these are volunteers, and he passed it to another one. He passed it to another one, and after 5 layers, like onion layers, nobody won't know anymore who you are. So the destination won't know what's your IP, won't know what's your MAC address. But you cannot say there is no IP address. IP address is IP is a protocol, is an internet protocol. We use it for addressing in the internet. You cannot have any connection with the network, internet or whatever without IP. You can have IP and TCP, IP and UDP. You cannot have IP. So what's happening here is not having no IP address, is having an anonymous IP. So maybe she just made a mistake. Okay, next one I'm going to talk is minute 32. Okay, I think all of you noticed this, but if someone didn't notice, he just changed the refresh time for the GPS tracker from 1 minute to 1 day. So detective, the FBI marshal, he will lose the track of the tracking device which is attached to his leg. So only after 1 day he will see the new location of him on the GPS map. We go minute 39. It's where they enter to the Korean restaurant. He's suspect to the camera, and he opened the batch terminal. Okay, he asking who is to get information of the owner of this station, means who was using this computer, who is the user of this computer which this system is open now. Okay, is the name. Okay, something is interesting here is IP address version 4 is in 4 octets, as you can see, but every octet is minimum 0, maximum 255, and 255 we use it for broadcasting, so we don't use it as an IP address. But here you can see 265 and 284. I have no idea why IP version 4 is going over 255, which is 265 and 284. And I was checking the movie, the crew, the people who give a technical assistance to this movie, and they are 2-3 guys who seems like they hired them for hacking, for cybersecurity, for all of these guys, but I'm not sure how they lose such very clear and obvious thing, which you can learn it even in the primary school, in the high school, doesn't even need university. I'm not trying to be offensive, I'm just trying to make a joke. Okay. He's trying to send a message to the user who was lagging. But actually, after you type right, and when you want to write your message, it won't go to Hanji Park or whatever. It will go to empty, to a blank space, so you cannot start messaging. So it's another mistake. Next we are going to try is minute 53. Okay, it's so interesting. This kind of movie really got me. I paused the movie just to look for some information about this. Is your phone Android? So I'm going to talk about this. He says your phone Android, means he insists that this application only can be run on the Android, not iOS, not Windows, not Symbian, not BlackBerry, whatever. And he says yes. And he's going to download application named Wi-Fi. This application exists. I even had a conversation with the developer. I asked him that what was the story. So this application really exists. This application can track the source of a network, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, can track the source. So it see how strong is the signals, they follow the signals to reach to the source. So he's going to use it this way. But this application is so expensive and only provided in iOS. So that's very interesting. He insists for Android phone, but this application is not even out for the Android. You cannot find it in the Play Store. This is only for iOS. And second, is this application is expensive, but this guy, he just click on it, and next second you see he is starting to run the tool. So it means he didn't go through the payment process because it's gonna take time. And it wasn't installed before because you can see he's searching it in the market to install it, and he is installing it actually. So he didn't have it. So number one was this application is not for Android. Number two is it's expensive, over $200 US. And number three, this application needs the additional device to attach to the phone. Then it can work. You cannot just use your phone for this. Okay, I have no idea what kind of joke was it. And the developer, they mentioned that the movie, the crew, they approached them, they asked them for the permission that they want to say Android and they want to talk about this application in the movie, and they give the permission. So we talk about the large security, we talk about the fake IP but not no IP. I told you about the IP version 4 and write command failed. When you enter it, it will be blank space. And Wi-Fi 1, no Wi-Fi for Android. 2, no free. 3, need the additional device. So we are going to minute 53. Okay, so it's difficult to find this. Okay, so he's talking about GPG. GPG encryption algorithm is standing for GNU privacy guard. So it's very secure. And first I thought they want to call PGP. I thought it's another mistake, but I googled it. I said GPG. I didn't know about GPG, and I searched that what is the minimum key for GPG. So it was 512. So the Chinese guy is right. Minimum is 512, so it's very secure. Next I'm going to talk about is 112. They are doing to do some forensic job. They want to find the log that they found it actually, but is damaged because of the heat. So they need to recover it, and they cannot use normal application because the damage level is very high. You can see a lot of hole there, as she mentioned. So they say, I'm not sure about this one. They say there's application as Black Widow is belonging to NSA, which can be used for the very perfect level of recovery. So they're going to use this web application to recover the file, so they can find the IP address or whatever of the hacker. Okay, he's going to do the bad thing. Okay, I don't want it. So they're asking for the permission for the user and password of this application. He said he don't want to give it. But the interesting is, it came to his mind to attach this application, a keylogger, to the PDF file and send it to this guy. So if he run it, he can read the user and password next. But a big but is, how did he even access to the NSA mail server to send him email to fake identity of the sender as his supervisor, as the NSA employee supervisor? Okay. Okay, have a look. From B. Hitchens, so from secure-nsa01.gov. I don't think he had time to make a fake domain address, so I will assume that the domain address belong to NSA. But he's sending the email from NSA, and I didn't hear he hacked NSA before, that he have access, simply go to the NSA mail server and send email. But he's sending email from this email address to the NSA employee, so he will trust. But it doesn't make sense, because how did he access to the NSA mail server? How can he send email from the supervisor? So he sent a file, a PDF file, is like a security guide, so that he should change his password. And so he will trust, he will run it, the keylogger will run his computer, and it's like the antivirus doesn't detect it, and it's going. But this part also doesn't make sense, how he could access to the NSA mail server. So far we are here. Yes. Next I'm going to cover is same thing again I mentioned before. Is going to be minute 117. Oh, it was here, yeah. You can see the IP address again, 192, which is a local IP address, and 312.257, which, as I said before, it can't belong to IP version 4. Okay, minute 18, 118, also interesting. Okay, this is your actor's home IP address, but it is not IP address. He is pointing at a URL link. He called it the IP address. So it's really funny. It's very simple. You can translate the URL to the IP address. It's very simple. You can get the IP address, but you cannot just point to a URL and call it IP address. Okay, next is I'm going to type. It's almost the end of the movie. 143. Okay, you can see here there's a root @ and there's a hash sign. So that is how a root permission look like, not a $. He's going to mount a device, attach a device, and he's going to copy the data from the root directory to the, I cannot read it, to the, another external device, I think. But same as I said before about cat, here CP is standing for copy. But after this, you need a space to continue the command. You cannot just type CP, then directly start to typing, because this for the Linux operating system means one word, cp/root. But it's not actually one word. CP is a command, root is a path. So it's another mistake. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please have a look at my website, cybertech.academy. Also follow my YouTube and Facebook. Have a very good day. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.